Welcome back to another edition of the B4evaKool podcast. My name is Rex45.
My name is TJ with Two Wheels and Coffee.
What's going on, man? How's things?
Things are going good, man, and racing is exciting as it can be right now. So I'm happy. How about yourself?
About the same. I was traveling back and forth last week, so that was a little chaotic. Sat on a plane a little bit longer than I wanted to, needed to, type of thing. I don't know if it's a thing with American Airlines or what, but I did not have not even a pleasant experience, much less even a good experience.
And it's so funny you mentioned that people have their favorite airlines. It's so funny to hear people's stories of which airlines they love and hate.
Right.
Uh, I
No,
haven't had any bad experience on American Airlines. Actually, I did coming back from Washington D.C. with my parents. A couple years ago, we was on like one of the 747 big airlines. It was like
wow.
4 rows across,
Okay.
you know, like 40 rows deep.
Big plane.
Um, and yeah, the air circulation was terrible. I got off the plane. I was sick for like 2, 3 weeks.
Yeah, I've
On my
noticed.
way down, I flew JetBlue, and I had a perfect flight. So like, I have no complaints about JetBlue. But I hear the stories about them. I hear American and
Yeah,
Spirit.
Yeah, that's funny. Same thing. I flew JetBlue on the way up, no problem whatsoever. So coming back down, my flight was, it was I had a connection, and both flights were delayed. My second flight, I sat on the runway well over an hour, and next to I had the window seat, but I had two bigger gentlemen next to me, and they just kind of just took up the middle elbow room and everything room. It was just kind of like I'm just like, this can't be happening right now.
Yeah, there's one thing sitting on the plane for 30 minutes to an hour opposed to waiting to board your plane.
Mm-hmm.
Just sitting like where you have a seat in charge to get elbow room and stuff like that. So I don't know if it's worse to be waiting that your plane's delayed or actually getting on feeling satisfied and then waiting.
I prefer
Yeah,
not to be on a plane and let it be delayed.
yeah, I guess so.
You know what
That's
I
how I would. I don't want to be cramped up.
Yeah, no.
I'm on it. Let's go.
Yeah, I don't want to be cramped up, and that's that. I don't want to be cramped up. So that's the biggest part of it all.
Yeah, I don't know how people take those long flights where like going to Singapore or something from Boston. Like I know some people do it. Like my place I work, just too long. Just be on a plane that long. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's more relaxing. They probably got more space, but just uh, just being in the air that long, cramped with next to somebody.
Yeah, that's
Especially when it gets to your fun, you gotta take it.
correct. Now that is a long time to be on a flight and having to deal with that. So I mean, it gave me some time to think. So I was definitely thinking. I'm like, okay, I still have to get my bike service. You know what I mean? I still have to, start planning for next year. I still have to, start getting I'm getting my workout on. So that is happening. So it made me really just think about like, okay, racing is going to start relatively in like, if you're down this side, you'll start in December. And I know MotoGP has been taking up our time, so we really haven't, talk about like our stuff, what we got to get done, and what the folks, what off season looks like.
I know, like you said, I still have to get my bike serviced. Still planning on going to Superbike 44. Talk to him around 7. Um, and so I just got to get that set up and get it going. Um, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm procrastinating on it. It's more of just making sure my funds are right. This is a hobby, so I just don't want to just throw everything into this because it
Right.
needs to be fixed right away. So, but I plan on getting it done pretty soon. I also got a street bike, so I got to get that winterized and put away because we can't ride all year up here. I mean, some people do, but I do not out of choice. And
Right.
so and yeah, so I do plan on doing the rounds at Loudon and also couple track days that we got going on in New York with one of my good friends and trying to plan around a couple more track days if that as well. So got a pretty much a I want to do like the same type of schedule I did this year. I had a lot of fun.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I started to get the bike serviced already. Well, I done some service on the bikes myself. I don't have much to do because the 2015 has just been sitting all year. So thankfully, I didn't really have to ride it this year. So outside of just probably changing the oil on that thing, it'll sit till next season. I've already changed the oil on the 2022 KTM, and the suspension just got done literally over the summer, and the engine was out over the summer and so forth. So realistically, there's not a lot that I feel like I have to do there. I didn't, I've only gotten 2 rounds in since the front suspension's been done. And so I'm
You're
probably
talking
gonna
to KTM, right?
talking to KTM. So yeah, so not much there outside of ordering parts, that type of thing, and like little screws and stuff that I might need for next season and stuff like that. I really don't have much. I do have to clean my suits and my helmet, so I got to take all the padding out of the helmet and take the inside layer out of the suit. Make sure suits. Make sure that's all cleaned up and fresh for next season and stuff like that. Now's the perfect time to do all that. So those kind of maintenance. Yeah, I ordered some hangers from Pitbull, so now I got some more sturdy rods in the trailer and stuff like that. So that type of thing. Replacing stuff that's broken on the trailer. That no fun, nothing fun, but all stuff that has to get
Yes.
done.
There's always little stuff that has to be replaced, like my GoPro cases. I had to buy, new cases because those broke.
Right.
Missing pieces from like fairings. Just got a little bin for my street bike, so going through that and yeah, just reading up on everything that was you just basically beat up this whole year.
Pretty much,
Like
pretty
extension
much.
cords, I had some that just tripped out on me and
Right.
stuff like that.
Batteries for electric tools and stuff like
Yep.
cordless tools and stuff like that. I know I have to upgrade my battery on my air pump. I kind of got cheap because the first battery died, and I got something that was like half the size. And yeah, it's like it's one thing if you just got to put air in your bike tires, but it's like you're talking about trailer tires, you're talking about the car tires and the truck tires and stuff like that. And this thing will literally shut off before I can get through like 3 tires on a trailer, 2 tires on a trailer, and then the pump just starts to cut off. So it's like, okay, all right, I got to go back to a more powerful, robust battery.
I must say that me and my good friend Josh, we go to the track together and we share a lot of stuff. So when we unloading, sometimes it's a hassle to take all my stuff out and bring it home to my house when I can just leave it there.
Right.
So I'm still at that point where a lot of my stuff is at his house. So I'm glad you mentioned that. This is a good time to get organized, to see where you left off, put everything back in order because, when you're ready to go, you want to make sure you're not skirming around at the last minute. And for instance, I wanted to clean my street bike and I just realized all my sprays and to clean the bike and all that stuff is at his house because I didn't need to take it at the time.
Oh
So I have
yeah.
to go over there and kind of like clean out my shed at his house
Yeah.
to bring
Exactly.
back and organize everything.
Right. It's tough when you have things that are playing 2 duties. You know what I'm saying? You need it for your race bike, you need it for your street bike, or you need it for home for something else. And, it could be just be an extension cord or a tool or whatever the case may be. That is the
Yeah.
downside when when the funds aren't there, or we just choose not to or for one reason or another, and we think that I can just use this here, and I have, for instance, I have a surge protector that I use in my office, but then I take it to the track for my tire warmers because it got USB plugs and everything, so I can charge pretty much everything I need to charge right at the track and stuff like that. And it's the same thing. Last time I went to Homestead for the track day, I forgot it at home. And it was just kind of, I mean, obviously I made do. I had other surge protectors, but sometimes you don't have that. Or if you got if you're getting a 30 amp outlet or 110 outlet from the track, you might and you don't park close enough to a plug. I had to I had to pull my trailer up like like halfway up at Homestead just to connect, because I mean I was more lazy. I had more extension cords, so I probably could have reached, but it was, for those that got 50 amp, 30 amp, 110, how you're stacking up and you're stacking down to make connect all these cords. So I just end up just moving my truck closer, which meant I was further away from my bike. So there was, a lot more walking happening. But still, it's like when you have these, pieces and parts that do double duties, it makes it very tough.
Oh yeah. I mean, and who wants to get double parts? I mean, it makes sense at the track because you always need extra. But why buy an extension cord when you don't need it when you're at home when you can bring it with you? But you always get distracted. Like you're
Right.
saying, the season was over, so you could have just brought your surge protector to work. Like, I don't need this until I go back racing. And then he was like, wait, I'm gonna go to Homestead or something. And you go and you're like, shit, my surge protector's at work. It's not in my box where it should be
Right.
on my bike. So,
And that's the
yeah,
that's the most difficult part. So anyway, folks, I hope everyone is getting their self prepared for next year themselves, their
turkey.
bikes, all that. I guess there's turkey coming up too. So I guess you're starving yourself for Turkey Day, and then
Yeah.
you'll hit the gym and continue on the workout after. Oh man, let's get into MotoGP, because it's been crazy over there.
Yeah, what was our predictions last round? I said I wanted Maverick up on the podium. I
Uh huh.
wanted think Jorge Martin, and I forgot what my third choice was. But I don't think I got any of them.
No.
Um, not for the full race, but for the sprint, yeah, Jorge Martin rode very well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we want to start with MotoGP, it was a pretty interesting weekend. I have a question, like for this MotoGP, um, how I always talk about Mark Marquez getting under people's skin, always
Right.
following riders, like that will never end. But there's also other writers who put in episodes out there that they don't really share. And me personally, I used to always complain about a writer saying that he's always complaining about other writers, and when he makes a mistake, he doesn't feel have any sympathy for it.
Right.
So
Right.
finally brought to light this weekend where Alicia exploded and put his hands on another rider on the track, because he was upset.
Right.
What do you think about that situation? Like, I think that Alicia always reacts wildly um, during, when he's out there and someone's in his way. But if he crashes and causes a time discrepancy in qualifying, he doesn't like show sympathy that like, I'm sorry for messing you guys up.
I will say he in the past he's been very apologetic when he's made mistakes. I think it was his fault. Obviously, whoever watched it saw what happened, and then even after Frankie's explanation, it was a yellow flag. The right in front of him already slowed down, so he did the same thing. Aleix probably didn't see all that, so he at the moment he probably had reasons to be upset because he there's things he didn't see, but afterwards he had to have, I mean, it sounds like it was explained to him what happened. So I've only seen that he's taken to social media to apologize. I don't know if he talks to Frankie yet. Morbidelli did a good job keeping his cool and not
Sure
making the
did.
situation worse. But that's definitely something we would have been seeing when the leathers came off. You know what I'm saying? That that it would have been coming to see you, man. You're not just gonna go put your hands on me, on the track and then think
Just inside my head.
yeah, and then think it's gonna be okay afterwards. That you know what I'm saying? That ain't gonna happen because I'm not gonna put my hands on anybody. Period. So what I'm saying, anybody like that's not a good look. Should the punishment been more severe? On one hand, probably. I mean, this is no different than this is not like what Draymond did to Rudy Gobert choking him out. But none of that, it didn't choke him out, but he choked him, right?
But you know, it's on a live televised. You know, it's on air. You know,
It's on there, and that's not a good look for I hate to get
he got
back to
choked.
the animalistic instance, but that's not good for your pride. You know what I'm saying? Like Morbidelli got to eat that. It's like, remember when Kobe got punched? He had to eat that. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Back in the day, for a long time, the dude from New York, I forget his name now, right? But like he had to eat that for a long time. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, you put your hands on me, and the whole world that loves MotoGP, or maybe even just because of the instance hearing about this, is not a, now I have now here's a situation that could be possibly talked about forever, if not a long time. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Allen
It's fu-
Iverson where we talking about practice and all this stuff. This is one of those things like,
yeah.
yo, you put hands on me, bro.
The funny thing is, what Morbidelli mentioned is like it was a slap in the face because they gave him six grid positions as a
Right next to
penalty
me.
and put him right next
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. It's like, come on,
Like,
like how much exactly? It's like we're supposed to put away our instincts, our survival instincts, and just eat the humble pie. And Morbidelli, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been seeing him after the race. Like I'm just letting you know that now. I would have been coming to see you. I might have got my butt whooped and all that, but I still would have been coming to see you. That's like you're not nah. I mean, it ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a different kind of disrespect now. You know what I'm saying? Because now
yeah, I
you feel
mean,
like you can just put your hands on me. Nah, you can't do that.
yeah, I think Leish thinks think he's on another level mentally. I don't know what
Well,
it
I
is.
I,
Like
I gotta look
when it comes to qualifying and stuff like that, he's just
right.
more aggressive than
Yeah, 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 yeah. This is an instance where and again, I'll circle back to Draymond Green. This is an instance where you can cuss at your box, and you can yell at your mechanics and stuff like that and all that, and you can say it's all in the heat of moment and all that stuff and all that. But eventually, it could be a problem, right? There's something like with the dude from the Warriors, there, Draymond Green. There's something going on there. You know what I'm
well, he has
saying?
a history of
Yeah, yeah,
videos,
that's what I'm
man.
saying. There's definitely
It's
something going
problems.
on, and he's been like, you didn't need to choke dude out like that, and Rudy Gobert, he put his hands around Clay like that just to protect, just to stop it from happening, not to hurt him. There was no he just put his hands around him, and you've seen LeBron James do that to Chris Paul when Chris Paul and Rondo got into it, and they were on a separate team. Rondo was on the same team as LeBron, but LeBron put his hand around Chris Paul, and nobody choked out LeBron. You,
Yeah,
you,
I mean
you,
this
you,
what they got refs and coaches for, but Draymond's Draymond.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Um,
like elation, like we all get upset. Don't get me wrong. We all like. There's many times I came in, I wanted to throw my helmet across the room or kick the bike over. I mean, when I was on BMX, I couldn't, tricks didn't work out for ice. It's just the bike would just go sending. You know what I'm saying? It's so it's like it's easy to come in regardless of what you do in life. It's easy to be pissed off and to come in and just want to break stuff or whatever the case may be, but I would have been. You'd been better off kicking your motorcycle than putting your hands on Frankie like that. And if you're upset with your riding, and this is, and we talked about track day the other day and different riders and stuff like that, and having the proper ways to practice and stuff like that. I mean, outside of organizing it like how Disney does it. Here's your time slot. You keep this much space between the next rider and go out there. You're gonna have these altercations where you come in on a rider and that rider's not doing it deliberately. You know what I'm saying? But you're gonna have these things, and we see it on track all the time. You know what I'm saying? So
that's yeah.
that's gonna happen.
That's why I don't understand why they think some right. Well, maybe I don't know. There's a racing line you shouldn't be on, but I don't understand why these riders think that they're deliberately trying to get in their way. Like everyone's coming up on them so quick. But my observation on this is that the round before, Alish had a terrible weekend where he crashed 4 times in one session. He also crashed out of the GP race.
Mm-hmm.
And going into this weekend, which is 1 week after, he's probably mentally trying to make sure he gets everything perfect, and I don't know how Frankie must have just sparked him somehow.
Right.
Must not have gotten it going. Time must have been running out. Gotta check that again, but
Right. Yeah,
yeah,
no,
he lost his cool for
yeah,
sure.
definitely the icing on the cake, right?
Oh yeah,
For Alicia Spargo, definitely, because I suspect he thought he was going to have a better year than he did. Especially the way last year ended and stuff like that,
mhm,
and I think he was top four, right? At some point,
yep,
I think that, and then the season coming to this, and he probably has one more year in MotoGP. He said it
mhm.
himself. So
Yeah, he said 35. What is he? 30?
34. So
30?
he's
Okay.
34. So yeah. So end of next and the next year's contract, and there's a lot. We haven't even touched on all these other writers that are looking for work yet. So I gotta assume that's a lot of frustration from the whole season. But nonetheless, you know what I'm saying? Like, and this is Valentino Rossi's boy. So it's like, come on, man. That I don't think VR46 Academy, they roll deep. So you know what I'm saying. I don't know if you want to be messing with them like that, but yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
if this and he retired, he crashed too, right? Didn't he crash? Well, he retired from the
he
race.
retired. He
Yeah,
retired.
yeah.
Now that's when I was just like, he must have just like F this. Well, they didn't really explain
Well,
why, but it's just still
I think
unfortunate.
he has a bone that's either
Oh,
fractured
right.
or broken, and
In the
so
sprint crash.
yeah. So you know, so it's unfortunate all around. But yeah, no, don't put your hands on other riders and expect that
And then
nothing's gonna happen to you. I'm sorry, don't put your hands
and
on anybody.
Mortadelli
I don't think anything's gonna happen.
Mortadelli has a new job upcoming too, so he's not like jobless at the end of the year because I'm sure if he was, he probably
But that's
made a
but
different
at the same
decision.
yeah, but
He
at
would
this
he would probably I don't know if you watched Moto America when Petrucci went, um, but there was a time where he was having an out with a couple of riders, and when they were doing their practice starts, he drove in between, I think Jake Gagne, or
oh
I'm
yeah
not
yeah
sure
yeah
who it
yeah
was,
yeah
in
yeah
between
yeah
the
yeah
two of them,
yeah yeah
turned around and gave him the finger.
yeah 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 yeah.
Like "Ooh, what are you doing?"
you know
So
so yeah no it's look, it's a tough sport, right? Life is tough. I get all that, right? And so there's a bit of grit that comes with it. But if you're gonna try to bully somebody, you're gonna get it back. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get it back. So it is not it's not the world is not my stomping ground for everybody to just move out the way and let me do what I want. And I don't think anyone has that. And if anybody thinks they have that, the world have shown us a gazillion times that you don't. You know what I'm saying? You don't. Like you might be able to bully a few people, but over the course of time, that's not going to happen. So that's my 2 cents. I don't want to turn this motorcycle show into a different kind of show. But no, it's I'm not a fan of any kind of bullying whatsoever. So
yeah, we just go out and ride and have fun, compete. That's
yeah,
it.
that's it. Let's get to there's a lot to really talk about. So we could talk about Moto3 first, because Jeremy Masia winning the title in I don't know if I look. They were jacking up what's his name, what is it, I gotta get his name now, number
Yeah.
71 there,
Who's in second place for points?
not Osaka. I want to say it's not Osaka. It's I'll look up his name, but yeah, no, that was definitely ridiculous. The race, like he got pushed around a
Osaka.
lot. He got pushed around a lot in that Moto3 race. He definitely got
Yeah,
pushed around a
Osaka.
lot. Macia's teammate definitely. I don't want to say did his job, but did his job. But that was very ugly
Should
the
be
way he.
penalized for that though.
Yeah. Even Macia twice, because he ran him out wide twice.
Yeah, okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Okay, so
Yeah,
yeah.
He ran him
I
out
mean,
wide. You ran him out like twice, and you know what I'm saying. And then his teammate got in the way and made him drop back all those places. And give him credit because he fought all the way back up there. And I know there's no rules against that kind of stuff, but even though Massier did get a conduct warning rule because it was just like, bro, you just pushed me out here 2 times, so that way I'm like 10 place down. So
Yeah, he did that on purpose. Like the second time, they like that should have been more. Like,
yeah,
that
I
was
don't
bad.
like that kind of victory. Like beat me straight up.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Beat me straight up. Like don't like both times. I'm the only rider you pushed out like that. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
And you know, so
He
that
went from like first to like fifth
oh
to like
oh
sixth
oh yeah, he went all
doing
the way
that.
down to like 10th at one time.
Or 10th, yeah. I mean, each time, and they both work their way back up to the front. It's just incredible how much draft they can pull themselves back to the front. But after the second time, man, I'm like, dude, that is obvious.
Yeah, dude, beyond obvious. So I was definitely, I'm happy for him that he won because it's been a long time coming. You know what I'm saying? But in that fashion, it's a little dirty. I'm gonna say it's a little dirty. You know what I'm saying? That was not a clean win, whatsoever. Yeah. So
Your boy Anchu started in the front of the pack
mm-hmm.
and had a double long lap penalty
Right, and almost
because
won
he
that,
jumped the start.
and almost won that.
And almost like how'd you like his second time going around the long lap penalty, he was in like 20 something.
Right.
And
Sasaki's his
while
last name.
everybody was fighting in the front, Masia and Sasaki and all them,
Yeah.
like he was just cruising on back, and I was kind of rooting for him as well. But yeah, that race was for him to win that way. I mean, like I said, I've never rubbed paint with a biker. I mean, I've gotten really close, but I
Right.
can't imagine just trying to bump someone off of a line just to get a couple seconds advantage. Like,
Right. And I get it. It's very
I mean, I can see the
cutthroat.
first time being like accidental, but
Right. Yeah.
two times in a row in the same corner, no way.
Right. And again, that might have been another situation where, I might have had to stop by and say a couple of things too. And, and I get these commentators, they try to be as PC as can be and but no, that was a couple of dirty moves to do that. And like I said, there's like, you won, yeah, but those kind of tactics, it's kind of like, Casey Stoner and Rossi at Laguna Seca. Casey Stoner, Rossi won the race, but Casey Stoner was just like he was braking, slowing me down at the wrong parts, so I can lose my rhythm and stuff like that. And it's just like, okay, is this how we're playing? Are we gonna play like this? Type of thing. So it's one of those things like, if Masia didn't do those two things, it could have been going to Valencia because Sasaki was fast. It was fast.
Right? I mean,
It was fast. You know what I'm saying?
He was at one point where he had a chance. It was like 21 or 24 points away, and then it just drifted back, and it was just
Yeah, and
out of contention.
yeah. So
It was kind of sad to see.
yeah. So I don't. That's why I'm not as excited for him. I don't like the fashion in which it happened. So it's great that he won. He's moving to Moto2. He's been in Moto3 for a long time, so that's really good for him. But like, you don't want to win like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's my 2 cents. Moto2. What can we say about Fermi, huh?
And I like I said, I've been rooting for my boy Eric Canet all year to get a damn podium win. But that boy is just too good, man.
Yeah. I'll still go ahead.
No, I'm saying he's just too good. Like he just let him lead for like 10 laps, and he's just like, all right, I'll take over. He just took off.
And that was it.
Like
that was it.
That's a person who definitely, deserves a higher seat if available. But
Yeah, if available. I saw one of the KTM riders, posted that, Rossi should sign the Gin Antonio after his performance. And we still haven't gotten to MotoGP yet, but we're talking about Fermi because he's one of the guys that they've talked about taking. If Luca Marini goes to Honda next year, then it looks like Fermi may come up. Maybe, one of these other guys. I might come up from Moto2, but so to me, for me, Al Dagia was quicker in was a better rider than Pedro. Like I had mentioned before, when Pedro was in Moto3 and he was in the European Superbike, he was already on a Moto2 Honda engine bike, and he was kicking butt in European Superbike and European Supersport and a Moto2. And for whatever, like I said, when he came into Moto2 the first year, he had some bad accidents, and I think that kind of shook his nerve a little bit. But it seems like at this point in time, if he stays in Moto2 next year, who's going to beat him? Maybe Celestine, maybe on with the Akiyawa team. I don't know. I mean, not to say I'm giving up on Canet.
Aaron Canet.
Maybe heard. Not to say I'm giving up on him.
There's mistakes,
but you know what I'm saying. It's look, man. At that level, it's we're talking about slim margins. So there's absolutely not much we can do about that. But Aaron Canet got a good shot. Roberts got a good shot as well. Dixon has a good shot. Albolino's probably going to have a good shot, but Fermier's the guy that's going to be the front, because if he continues to do what he did the last few rounds, I mean, if he wins tomorrow, it'll be 4 in a row. I think he's the fourth rider to win 3 in a row in Moto2.
Yeah,
so yeah. So it's pretty impressive. And if he win one more, he may be. I don't know what the stats are on that, but it's gonna be very impressive. So if he continues that into next season, it's gonna be very hard, to see that when these other guys are gonna win. But it's motorcycle racing; anything can happen.
That is true. I do want to shout out Joe Roberts for getting pole.
You're right. Oh, no doubt.
American on pole.
No doubt. Yes, definitely.
That was pretty nice to see. So.
And
especially at this type of fast track,
right? Yeah, and
super happy to get that.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? Because it's tough. These guys have been in Moto2 for a while. Him and Jake Dixon and some of these guys that been in there for 5 years and 4 years and stuff, like 6 years. And fortunate for him, he's won some titles. He's won some races as well. So it's not the end of the world, but you look at the Pedros and some of these other guys that make it look easy, and then you look at Roberts and I mean, even Canet's had 12 podiums, all second places, or maybe 14 two third, and the rest are all second place. I mean, even Roberts don't have that on his resume. You know what I'm saying? So it's very tricky. But I do hope that next year when he goes back to the American racing team, it's put together and it has a really good package, because even Ramirez is doing really well on the American team, especially in qualifying and stuff like that. He's getting up there. It might not show in the races, but that team is they could make a run, not necessarily for a championship, but they could be a top 10 team next year.
Yeah, that'll be a good sight to see for sure. I mean, they definitely. I'm sure that when the season's coming to an end, you kind of out of it. You kind of already prepare yourself for the next year in a way.
Right.
You still trying to finish everything out. So I think they're gonna be looking forward to starting off strong. So you have to start off strong, because when it comes down to this point, you'll be like, damn, I should have. You don't want to think that the shoulda, coulda, woulda. So.
Exactly. No, you do not. You just want to get out there and do what you got to do. So let
best at every race, so you can at least satisfy yourself at the end of the year that you gave it all.
No doubt. So let's get into MotoGP, man. I mean, the sprint and the main race. It was nice that I didn't have to get up at 3 a.m. to start watching.
It just actually came on at a perfect time of day,
It did.
Like 10 a.m., 11, 12 was the sprint. I was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah. No, it was perfect. It's like let's do this every round. You know what I mean? So I have to say that was nice. I didn't, even though, shout out to Luca Marini setting the lap record and getting pole, impressive. It's, it's one of those things where if you look at Mark Marquez and Alex Marquez, and then you look at Luca Marini and Valentino Rossi, the siblings and whatnot. Alex Marquez has overall have somewhat of a when you have your brother that's like your brother's Mark Marquez, your brother's Valentino Rossi, your dad is Michael Jordan. When you got Tiger Woods, right? When you got these great individuals and they're really great at their sport. Marini, I never said it, but it's been talk of like, well, he's Rossi's brother and this and that, but like he's holding his own. You know what I'm saying? And that's and that's a lot of pressure because he's always compared to his brother, not necessarily like a DeGen Antonio or these other guys. He's always like when your brother or your father or your mother is ridiculous with their skills, you're gonna be compared to them. You know what I'm saying? And so he's just been doing it quietly, and so shout out for him for getting that being on the podium twice. You know what I mean, and setting that pole because everybody was looking at not him. You know what I'm saying? They were looking at everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You haven't heard his name that much. I mean, we heard his name, but and up in the front as much as until lately.
Yeah, even
But
Bezecchi.
like you said, it's crazy to to hold up that type of you know pressure, knowing who's your brother. Because like I can say, you ride like Rossi, then everyone's gonna be
Yes, I
like, oh,
do.
Rexy
Yes,
rides
I
like
do.
Rossi. Look at him go, and then you can hold that end of the stick. But to be a sibling,
Yeah.
and everyone has an expectation on you already, and yeah, that is congratulations to get a lap record and pole as well.
Yeah, no doubt. So I was very excited. I mean, I felt for him because Bezecchi was doing so well. You know what I'm saying? And as a rookie, and when he came out, he was kind of quiet not quiet, but similar to Gian Antonio. You know what I'm saying? Kind of similar. You know what I'm saying? And so. And he's I think he's had some poles before and finished on the podium before for sure. But still, so for him to do that, to go out there and ride well, to battle with the top guys, and possibly might become a Honda factory rider for 2024. And it's one of those things like if people are saying, why is he getting it and blah blah blah, he answered that this weekend. Like anybody had any doubt,
And we always talk about Ducati, but for some reason, something inside me told me there was always going to be. I mean, there's no beef right now, but something told me that yeah, them all finishing up front is good and all, but there has to be some type of clash somewhere else. So
You
I
think?
think we kind of seen a hint of that this race weekend.
Oh, what do you mean? With who are you speaking of?
So what I mean by that is, Pecco is trying to win it, and as teammates, you protect your brand. Like
Mm-hmm.
another Ducati teammate will try to hold off Pecco, um, and Antonio Fabio. He had every right, what I'm saying, because he doesn't have a job next year, but he was really on Pecco's ass the whole race,
Yeah, yeah.
and and they were saying it like he got a mapping 8. I guess that was made up how you mentioned before with a couple of riders years ago. Um, but basically
Lorenzo and
that's saying like
Dovizioso.
just hold back, take this second place.
Right. Now,
And they were like, he didn't even look at the board. I don't know if he looked, but I'm sure he saw it.
right. Yeah, I don't know if he saw it or not. And like I said, what so Ducati's never really
He doesn't
came
have to
out.
turn his helmet.
Yeah, Ducati's never really came out and said what Mappin 8 is. But it's interesting because his answer and I believe the crew chief were the same. And so, like you say, in a situation where I don't have a job next year, here's my only chance to win a MotoGP race. Regardless, Ducati's going to win the world title, regardless, right? So it's just preference, who you want as a rider. Obviously, Ducati wants their factory team to win because it's the factory team. You know what I'm saying? But are they gonna lose? Are they gonna be disappointed if Martin won or Bezecchi won? It's still Ducati. You know, they're
Yeah.
six bikes. It's first six bikes on the grid. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
more
So
of like no, sorry.
now go ahead.
That was it's more of, to my eyes, more of like who's in contention. Like he had no, like he they didn't want any accidents, basically, him being so close to
Right.
where the point stands,
Yeah.
and it almost came down to an accident, I'd say.
Right. No, it did,
When
but that would have been all on Pecco's fault if that
yeah,
happened.
that was on
You,
Pecco's
you,
end
you know what I
because
mean?
he was
Because
behind that
he
tempo.
definitely passed them clean and did all the right things. And Pecco's already on record saying he doesn't want team order. He wants to win straight up because
Right.
Ducati could have just said that from the jump with Martin and him. Like, y'all stand down. You do what you do, but Pecco's winning. They could say that, right? What Martin gonna do? He gonna have to fall in line because he's no different. He would be no different than Di Antonio in that regard. So if Ducati wanted him Pecco to walk away with the thing, they can easily just be like, hmm. Now, I will say this, and I usually don't another conspiracy theorist or anything, but it's suspicious that he had tire troubles. Very suspicious. But they don't make tires, so
All I do know is Digi saved the season by him
yeah,
by him winning.
I think so. Right,
It
right,
still
because
made a
Marquez did pass him. So he did even lose five more, whatever points he lost. So he did Marquez, right? So he did pass O'Hare at the end. So he did even fall further back. So if Martin if Pecco had won, he would have five more points, which is 25. But it still wouldn't be. You know what I mean? Look, essentially they're gonna have to kidnap Pecco for him not to win the title. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have to be something like that to happen because I suspect if he finishes in the top six in either race, he probably wins.
Oh yeah, I mean it's gonna be a good sight to see. I mean, we had 2 rounds ago our Moto2 champion. This past round, we had our Moto3 champion, and then final round of the year, we're gonna get to see, you know, who's if we're going to be defending champions or a new one. So
No doubt, no doubt.
yeah.
One more round to go, man. I'm looking forward to it. Valencia is one of my favorite tracks on the MotoGP video game. So I almost know that thing like the back of my hand. And it's a fun track, and so I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see. I will say that I do hope that Digia gets to stay in MotoGP. I really there's only one seat available, which is if Luca goes to Honda, then hopefully Rossi and them guys will be like, let's give this guy a chance. You know what I'm saying? Because you look at the Martins, you look at even Pecco, you look at Bastianini. All these guys came on strong on the end of this season when they were on the older bike, right? They all came on strong at the end of the season, and which catapulted them into the next season for the most part, right? So realistically, I don't know. Do you want Bastianini, Martin, Bezecchi, Pecco? You want those guys all fighting for titles next year? Alex Marquez. It's kind of like yeah. I hope that he gets to stay in MotoGP for 1 year. If not, I think he'll go to World Superbike. There's a couple more seats out there that's waiting, and I think there's even a couple of Ducati seats out there, satellite teams. So. Ducati has
I'm
to
sure.
appreciate what he's doing. So,
Well, for sure. I know he's gonna give it his all this last round too. So, and it's funny that you say Valencia is your favorite track. Um, I mean, I like playing the video games too. I like Valencia, but it's not my favorite. But
oh,
I
it's
do
not
know
my
the track.
favorite, but one of them. One of them.
Oh yeah, I know what you
Yeah.
mean. But I do know the track. Kind of like the back of my hand as well. And I just get upset a little bit because I wish we had tracks in video games where we can just go race at and still play on. That'd
Okay,
just be
well, listen,
fun.
man, we just gotta get our money up, and then we'll be everywhere.
Talk to Ride Five. Tell him put Loudon on that game. Jeez.
No doubt. Listen, man, I gotta say this. I might be getting a PS now after
Oh,
this past week.
that's right.
I mean, it's
Came and
already
visited, had to try it out.
yeah, it's already in my cart. So
Do want to mention one thing though, because we talked about this a couple episodes ago. Um, Nathan Betancourt
shout out to Nathan,
finally gets his chance to 13-year-old local New England
New England rider, race with his dad. Race with
who
his dad.
participates with us. He's going to participate at Valencia in the Mini Cup. So good luck to him. And I know I chatted with his dad before at the track a few times. Not really Nate, but have chat with Nate like through Instagram because somehow when the photographers takes pictures, our pictures get mixed up a little bit because he's one number off of me.
Ah, I got you.
So he's 212 and 213.
Yeah, yep.
So I talked to him like on Instagram, but I talked to his dad. So he's a very cool kid.
Oh yeah.
He looks very smart, very respectful, and I think he deserves it because he rides his ass off that loud.
Oh no, he does. He does. He does. Very.
And he beats up on the little kids.
And on the older
his
folks.
age, he's very skilled.
Um,
So I hope him the best out there.
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt to Nathan for real. Good luck, and we'll be watching. It's hopefully he's soaking it all in because it's an amazing thing to be able to go into Valencia and go race. I mean,
He's about to be in the league over there soon.
no doubt, no doubt. Shout out to all the sponsors: GoPro, Agio, Engine Ice. There's one more I'm forgetting. Motul, Hamden Yard. Shout out to Smoking Rhymes. Go ahead, and TJ.
And shout out to Vortex, Woodcrafts, Hideaway Rentals, and J&G Performance.
All right,
help me out.
All right, folks. We'll be here in another week with more MotoGP recap and talk. Man, my name is Rex45.
All right, my name is TJ with 2 L's and Coffee.
Peace.
Peace out.